You're watching NFL Daily. I'm Harrison Graham. Mitchell Renz alongside me as well. Tons, and I mean tons, of NFL news and rumors entering Week 17 of the NFL season. Lots at stake starting this week. And how about the Washington football team fighting for their playoff lives? They say deuces to Dwayne Haskins.
Well, I think the biggest issue is all season they've been saying not WFT, but WTF to Dwayne Haskins, because it has been an absolute disaster the past 2 seasons. I mean, when you think about the fact that they drafted this kid 15th overall in the 2019 draft, and now they have released him, he's set to hit waivers on Tuesday. I would be shocked if anybody decided to pick this guy up, because you can see the talent, but you've said multiple times, not just today, that Dwayne Haskins has a problem.
You can tell the work ethic isn't there. He's got leadership issues. He doesn't understand. Like, why is he going to a private party at a strip club before a game that you have to win to make the playoffs, basically? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. He's not committed to the craft right now, and he basically acknowledged that in his tweet earlier today. Look at this. It says, "My time with the Washington football team has unfortunately come to an end. I thank the team and the fans for an opportunity to play for the team I grew up rooting for. I take full responsibility for not meeting the standards of an NFL quarterback and will become a better man and a better player because of the experience." He basically said, yep, I didn't do what it took to stick around in the NFL. That's damning on Dwayne Haskins. That's a problem. And think about this, Mitch. Alex Smith may not even be healthy for Week 17,
exactly.
And Washington still cut him with the playoffs on the line. That's a big problem.
Big problem.
So what is your one-word reaction to Washington releasing Dwayne Haskins? Disaster?
Trashkins.
Ooh, I like that. Trash cans.
Trash cans. Let us know in the comments your one-word reaction to the Washington football team releasing Dwayne Haskins.
Let's get into the latest Dolphins news and rumors. Looks like Jakeem Grant, he's not going to be able to go in Week 17, Mitch.
This is really frustrating, I know, for a lot of Miami fans out there, for the simple fact of they're like, are you kidding me? Can they finally get healthy? And the answer recently has been no. Jakeem Grant adds that spark plug. He is a field stretcher. He's like a lesser version of a Tyreek Hill, and I will give Miami great credit for the way that they are using him and Lynn Bowden Jr., but right now he's dealing with a high ankle sprain, and if you watch the game against the Raiders when it happened, he got rolled up, and as soon as it happened, I was like, oh no. I actually thought it was a knee injury personally. He is going to miss Week 17. The report that came out on Grant is that he could potentially be done for this season. I know a lot of people are like, oh no, how severe is the injury? You got to remember, y'all, we're in Week 17, so if they miss the playoffs, he's going to be done for the season.
The thing is, the average fan doesn't understand how big of a difference an ankle sprain is from a high ankle sprain.
Exactly.
High ankle sprain, really,
several weeks.
It's a month sometimes. Now, I would expect him to maybe give it a go in a playoff game, but you're going to miss at least a week, probably 2, dealing with that. And that's a shame for Grant and Miami, who are trying to complete the season of being the most surprised team in the NFL, of making the playoffs, and they might have to beat Buffalo to get there, because the Miami Dolphins, they're 10-5. You're thinking, oh, expanded playoff this year, 10-6, that's going to get you in. Maybe not so much in the AFC playoff picture, Mitch. It is very crowded.
Yeah, I get that they're number 5, but they're going up against the Buffalo Bills, and you're also going up against the Buffalo Bills with, you don't know if you're going to have a Devontae Parker who's missed the last 2 games, and even if he does end up playing, is he actually going to be fully healthy, battling a hamstring injury? You're also missing, a whole bunch of other players that you thought you were going to have coming into the year. Mike Gesicki, he literally separated his shoulder a few weeks ago. He ended up playing against the Raiders, but you could tell he wasn't 100% healthy. This is also a team that's dealing with, you can say what you want, a lot of quarterback controversy. But this is the best defense in the NFL. Maybe not yards against, but they really tighten up the screws when it comes to getting into the red zone. And if they are going to make the playoffs, it is going to be with that defense.
And with, Tua slated to start once again, Jakeem Grant, while he's also one of those burner type of deep threats, he's also a safety valve, a guy who can do some of those short patterns, those drags, those quick outs that the Dolphins have been calling with Tua at quarterback. They've played it pretty safe with him back there, so you wonder how that affects the game plan without him out there. Lots of Week 17 games that Dolphins fans are going to want to keep an eye on outside of their own. You need the Browns to lose. You would like to see the Ravens lose to the Bengals. That's obviously probably going to be pretty unlikely, as is the Colts losing to the Jags. So you really need to take care of business and try and beat the Bills, who are one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. So will the Dolphins end up making the playoffs? Y for yes or N for no? I love doing shows with you, Harrison, but I really wish Tom was on this episode because he looked me dead in the eyes and he said this. Just listen.
I can leave.
No, I want you to stay. He said that every single team that wins 10 games will make the playoffs this year. And you know what, Tom? You are the king of doing your round of applause, taking your victory lap. You're wrong this year,
The ultimate jinx. He absolutely jinxed that one. Now, NFL fans, we got a ton of gear on sale for you guys, including these jerseys at chatsports.com/jersey deal. You Dolphins fans can get this 201. If you're a Raiders fan, take advantage of this Josh Jacobs jersey and a whole lot more. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. Mitch, I know you were doing some digging with our partner Fanatics, looking for the best deals. Tons of these jerseys, all of them were under $80. Some of them as low as like $40 and $50.
So I saw a Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr. jersey for $49.99. Again, that's at chatsports.com/jersey deal. That link will be available for you all in the description. And, down in the comments, there's also some other jerseys of some older players. I'm just going to not mention the names, but you can get an NFL jersey for $8.99. All I'm saying is this, if you got a kid and you need a jersey, you can pay $8, get a jersey, and rip the name off the back. You can figure out a way.
Or you can be the guy that goes to the party when we're allowed to do that again, of course, with the most random jersey there. It's always a great look. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. Go check that link out and get yourself a jersey today. Get subscribed to Chat Sports because, Mitch, I don't know if you know this, we're plugging out videos every day and 3 or 4 per day because we like to hustle for you guys. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. I'm doing videos. Mitch is doing videos. Tom, where is he? He's in the draft lab again. That's why he's not on today's show. He's getting you guys ready for the offseason. Free videos every single day covering the latest NFL news and rumors, and I can't wait for the playoffs. They're just around the corner. Get subscribed and turn on those notifications.
All right, let's get into the latest around the Kansas City Chiefs. Not only does this guy have a great first name, but Mitchell Schwartz is one of the best offensive tackles in all of football, and he's expected to miss the remainder of the season.
And I've thought that this is the way it was going to go for about a month now, Mitch, because what have we been hearing from Kansas City, from Andy Reid? The classic, he's day-to-day with the back injury.
Yep.
He's communicating with the trainers, with us, about how he's feeling. Dude, back things, they don't really go away. You just kind of hope that you wake up one day and it feels better. This is problematic, not only for this year, but potentially long-term as well, that your all-pro right tackle may have Tyron Smith type of injuries popping up now.
Yeah.
A little bit concerning. I would not expect him to return this season. Who knows? They may need to give him surgery this offseason, which is even a bigger problem. But keep tabs on the latest with Mitchell Schwartz with me on the Kansas City Chiefs report because it's not looking good for him. Someone it is looking good for, or at least better for, Sammy Watkins, Mitch, who just can't help himself but either pull his hamstring or strain a calf. And, he's dealing with another calf injury. Good news is, though, not serious. No tear, nothing like that. They'll sit him in Week 17, obviously. The Chiefs have clinched. And you get the first-round bye. So basically 2.5, 3 weeks off here. And then the divisional round, they're hoping, they think he probably will be back by then, which is a good sign because Sammy in the playoffs, since he's joined Kansas City, say what you want. Regular season Sammy, he's usually hurt and doesn't do much. Playoff Sammy, clutch as hell, and that is what the Chiefs are hoping they get this season as well.
I mean, when you look at his numbers here, 37 catches, this is in 10 games, but the one thing that Watkins brings, and a lot of these players bring for the Chiefs offense, is the ability to stretch the field. You have Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, Sammy Watkins. Those are 3 receivers that probably run sub-4 fours.
Yeah.
And then you got the arm of Patrick Mahomes. Watkins might not always light it up in the stat sheet, but he is definitely a huge, huge contributor in the offense in general.
The latest on Clyde Edwards-Helaire as well. Missed Week 16 against the Falcons. We knew this was going to be the case, Mitch. He won't play in Week 17. I think he's kind of on that Watkins timeline here where it's, maybe he gets ready to go for that divisional round or the conference title game. High ankle sprain, a bit of a hip strain as well. It'll be about a month by the time the Chiefs play in the playoffs. That's probably borderline there because high ankles are about 3 to 4 weeks depending on the player there. maybe he's more AFC title game ready, but that's the latest there, is that he's on track. He should return at some point in the playoffs, but obviously, like most of these guys, not going to play here in Week 17. And I don't know about you, Mitch, but Le'Veon Bell ain't Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He did not look that good against the Falcons this past week.
I was just going to say that. I mean, when you go back and you watch the game tape of the Chiefs against the Falcons, the one thing that I kept thinking about to myself was, wow, this Chiefs offense does really miss Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And I know a lot of times we go back and we say, oh, it doesn't matter who the running back is because you have this amazing passing game. But Atlanta did not respect the run whatsoever. And I'll give the Falcons, Raheem Morris, a lot of credit. They've done a lot better job of late, at least with that defense. But even though you think that you can just put any running back in the backfield, they're going to succeed, and you might be able to do it. But Le'Veon Bell does not look good, and he's not even close to being on the level of Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I think it's clear Bell's been more effective when he's been a complimentary back. He's had 2 games now where he's been able to have the opportunity to be the lead back. Hasn't executed well. He has not been a lead type of runner like he was in Pittsburgh. He's much better as a number 2 at this point. So these are 3 guys. Schwartz probably done for the year. We'll see on the other 2 guys. Who's the biggest loss? Who hurts the most by not being in the lineup? Type MS for Mitchell Schwartz. Type SW for Sammy Watkins. Type CEH for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I actually think it's Schwartz. This offensive line has not been nearly as good since he's been out of the lineup. Patrick Mahomes running for his life half the time. They really miss him. I think they can overcome it, but that is a major loss for this Chiefs offensive line. And luckily for Kansas City, Week 17, and they don't have to play their guys so if they don't want to. So they've already clinched that number 1 seed. But, Mitch, you've watched in recent weeks, the Chiefs are still good, and they're still the team to beat, but teams have played with them. They're not blowing people out. They just barely beat the Falcons. They barely beat the Dolphins a couple of weeks ago. I'm not saying that I would pick teams to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, but just because they're 14-1 doesn't mean they're unbeatable.
And that's actually why I don't like with the Chiefs potentially resting some of their starters and not playing Patrick Mahomes. So that means you have a Week 16 game where, let's just face it,
you didn't play well.
They didn't play well. They kind of sleptwalk into it. They thought, all we got to do is show up and we're going to be able to beat Atlanta. That didn't happen. So if you don't play Week 17, then you don't play because of the bye week, you're basically going 2.5, 3 weeks without realistically playing some football.
Playing at full strength, yeah.
That's not something I want to do. I mean, you see it far too often where that team gets that first round bye, they lose some of their momentum, they lose some of that mojo, and then they get hit. I don't know if that happens to the Chiefs because I am a believer when they want to win a game, they're the one team in football that can flip that switch.
Well, and they did it against Atlanta, right? You're down 4 minutes left, and Mahomes goes and wins the game for you. The one reason I will say I think sitting some guys could make sense here is for reasons we just talked about. A lot of their key guys are hurt.
Sure.
Your offensive line isn't at 100%. So resting Mahomes, I'd like to see him play a half. Get a couple of nice drives, get that momentum back, because the offense had no rhythm this past week. I'd like to see a couple of touchdown drives, but it looks like they're going to sit them. You guys can let us know what you guys think. Type R for the right move, type W for the wrong move. I'd like to see him play a half, but it looks like they're going to play it safe, and Patrick Mahomes is not going to play in Week 17.